Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Keystone Virtual College Exploration. This program is a partnership between PACAC and StriveScan for all Pennsylvania students. My name is Liz Forsini. I'm a college counselor at Wyoming Seminary, and I'm also the chair of the College Fairs Committee for PACAC, and I'm thrilled to welcome you today. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. If you have questions for the presenters today, please enter them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Also, we're using the webinar feature of Zoom. So if you notice that your camera and microphone are off, that's because they will be for the duration of the program. So again, you should engage with the presenters through the Q&A box. You signed up for this session at the PACAC website, and we have a few more sessions remaining and also recordings for all sessions from our 5-week program starting on October 1st. So if you'd like to view any recordings or sign up for additional sessions, you can at www.pacac.org/virtual. And now I will turn it over to the presenters from Johnson College.
Wonderful. Thank you, Liz. Appreciate it. So guys, my name is Alex Elzerth. I'm the Director of Enrollment at Johnson College. My colleague, Jack Lawless, he's a recruitment advisor here at Johnson. So we're going to kind of go through some specifics. I have a presentation we'll go through. And then, of course, anytime that you guys have questions, as Liz had said, feel free to use that chat feature. And we're happy to go from there. So let me just do a screen share here and we'll get ourselves all set up, okay? Okay. Right. Okay, so I know we have a couple attendees in here. So if you guys even want to just put in the Q&A, as long as everyone could see that. Jack, if you want to let me know you're able to see that on your end as well.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we're just going to kind of start off here, just to look at, I kind of called this a little bit of a virtual open house, if you want to say, just because I know it is a session for you guys, so we have some specifics on Johnson. So we'll kind of get to it in a little bit, but we are a hands-on technical school, so you could just see from some of these images, this is some work that our students have done on our campus. To everything from health and animal science programs, as you can see on that side of things. Just think of this, live surgeries going on, welding, sparks flying. So there's a lot of different programs at Johnson College. So with that being said, like I said, my name is Alex Elzerth, Director of Enrollment here at Johnson College. Jack Lawless, our recruitment advisor here. And we're going to kind of go through some specifics regarding Johnson College. And again, feel free to ask ask any questions you have. There is that lovely Q&A feature at the bottom. And we're happy to go through any specifics. If you were interested in, a particular trade, particular fields, we could touch base on that a little bit more, okay? So Jack, if you want to give us a little bit of an overview on today's agenda.
Sure. So everybody tonight, as you can see here, these are kind of a list of things that we're going to cover throughout the presentation for you tonight. So we're going to take a look at Johnson College, kind of an overview of the school, as well as all the different programs that we offer kind of in depth. So we'll cover a couple different aspects of those. We'll take the virtual look at campus, kind of give you an idea if you haven't been on campus before or driven by it, just an idea of what it looks like. And then we'll go over the admission requirements for what we look for when you apply. So just the kind of different step-by-step for that. In addition, all the different resources, and you'll notice to the right, the student resource overview, all those different aspects that we're going to go over as benefits for you while you're students and even alumni. And then just next steps and Q&A. So this is just kind of what we'll cover tonight, and any questions you could always chime in on the Q&A. We'd be happy to help you out throughout the presentation.
Wonderful. All right, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. Go on to our next slide here. So just a little bit of an overview, guys. Like Jack said, we're going to start with that overview on Johnson College. So we are located in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So depending on where you guys are from that have registered for it, I know some of you might be across the state, being it as a PACAC event. But Scranton, what are we famous for? It seems like lately, the last few years, everyone talks about The Office. So we are located in Scranton. We are actually just on the edge of Scranton. So majority of our campus is in Scranton. A little bit of it is in a neighboring town, Dixon City. We are a small college. Our campus is only 44 acres. Johnson College, again, it's a hands-on technical school. We were founded in 1912, so we've been here for over 100 years. We have 15 associate degree programs and then 3 one-year certificate programs. All of these programs are focused on giving students industry-driven skills for today's world. So we've been talking about, the hands-on curriculum, and one of the biggest things, and, unfortunately with everything that's gone on with the pandemic, you've heard, essential workers, essential careers. Well, at Johnson College, our students are just that. Every program that we have here, and we'll dive into those as we get a little bit further along, every program that we do have at Johnson College is indeed one of those essential careers. We'll touch base on these examples, but I always give the example of heating, ventilation, air conditioning. It's one of our programs. Doesn't matter how cold out it is. If your heat breaks, you're going to need to get it fixed. Same thing goes if it's 100 degrees out and your air conditioner breaks. So we use examples like that. We have a radiology program. So if you break a bone, you have to get an x-ray. That's not something that, is going to change based on what's happening in the world. So we are committed to that hands-on learning, and we always say our curriculum is driven by industry. So we work closely with a lot of local businesses, companies, a lot of our alums, and basically our goal is to have an education that is given to students to prepare them right to go into the workforce. And then at Johnson, we have a couple of different divisions of study as well. Everything kind of breaks down into. So we have our electronic and industrial division. We have our building trades and technology, transportation and logistics, as well as health and animal sciences at Johnson College. So again, there's 4 different divisions, and we'll kind of break down the programs in each of those. Again, if you guys have any questions and want to go into the Q&A, or there was something particular you had an interest in, we could go from there, okay? All right, so we'll get into to everything here as far as our screen share goes, or excuse me, our our programs at Johnson College. So like I mentioned, we have these different divisions, and we do have 18 different programs at Johnson. So again, 15 2-year associate degrees and 3 one-year certificate programs. So essentially what I'm going to do now is just kind of click through all the programs. I am going to take us to our website, so I'll do a screen share of that, and we could kind of look at some 360 views of our labs. I know it's tough to get onto college campuses right now, and this will kind of give us a little bit of an idea, and I can give a brief synopsis on each of these programs. So if you guys don't mind, I am going to stop the share really quickly, and I will get us onto our website here. We'll be able to get rolling from that end. All right. And Jack, you want to just confirm for me we could see that okay?
Yep, all good.
Perfect. So again, just our website, johnson.edu. We have all of our different divisions of study listed here. The 2 at the bottom, health science and animal science. Technically, they are two different types of programs and divisions, but we do combine them. So our transportation and logistics go together, as well as health and animal science. So the first one I'm going to go through is our electronic and industrial. Like I said, we'll touch base on each of these. I'll give you guys a brief overview on them. We'll check out the 360 views of the lab, and we'll go from there. So we'll lead off with our advanced manufacturing technology program. This is a pretty cool program at Johnson College. A lot of times students will say, what is advanced manufacturing? That's a great question. What is it? I'll be honest with you, before I worked at Johnson College, as soon as I started working here, I'm like, okay, advanced manufacturing, it's a newer program at Johnson. So the best way I could describe it is a combination of traditional manufacturing and what we call modern or additive manufacturing. So if you look over here, okay, and again, this is just a 360 view of our lab. So again, this is called manufacturing. So we kind of take a look at this, from the surface, and people always think, manufacturing, it's manufacturing is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be dirty, dark, dingy. You could see this area. It's bright, it's well lit, and it's ready for our students. So again, we used to at Johnson College have a program called precision machining. We've essentially changed that to advanced manufacturing. So what do I mean by that? Well, advanced manufacturing includes this machining, okay? So if you see all of these are metalworking machines. So you need to make different things out of metal, different pieces. people don't realize, but all the different metal components that are on things. So right now I'm sitting on an office chair. Underneath the office chair, there's, metal supports that are on it. Those metal supports need to be manufactured and made. So that would be, you would make those supports on machines like this at Johnson College. So you learn that metal working side of things here. And then you also get, which is really cool, one of the newer sides of things, which is called 3D printing. So 3D printing, I'm sure some of you guys might have heard of it. It's pretty neat right now, just to give you an idea. And if you want to look at my screen too here, this is a 3D printed business card holder, actually, that one of our students made for me. It was a gift, so I thought that was pretty neat. But just to kind of see something like that, you could have something tangible like that, 3D printed on your desk. You could have all these different parts and concepts. So in modern manufacturing, you could 3D print almost anything. When everything happened with, the initial outbreak of COVID-19 in March, and it was impossible to get PPE supplies, a lot of medical centers actually came to us and they asked if we could help with face shields. So if you ever see those masks that the people wear, it's like the glass or the plastic ones that go down in the front. We actually made pieces, head pieces that people could wear that those plastic shields attached to. So we 3D printed those. So in this program, again, you do some metalworking, some 3D printing, and you actually, you learn how to build and manufacture. So this right here, where I'm kind of putting my cursor around, this is a giant 3D printer that our students at Johnson College actually are building. When it's finished, it's going to 3D print chairs, which is really neat. So again, there's a lot you can do here in this program. I will be the first to say it's not as black and white as some of our other ones at Johnson College, but it is definitely something that's needed. So again, advanced manufacturing. And I actually do see we have a question here in the chat. Okay, so the question is, what type of jobs would I work in advanced manufacturing? So again, a lot of different avenues you could go in. Just to give you an idea, we have students that work at a local company nearby us that work with a lot of like robotics, and they actually 3D print pieces they work on 3D printers and repairing these robots. Other students in advanced manufacturing might work for machining companies. So again, some other ones in the area, students who work for Lockheed Martin, massive government contracted company. Another one that's pretty cool is a company called Automated Lifestyles. And it's actually where this company goes into homes and they would put in, like say window shades or, curtains or, maybe a television slides in and out of the wall. They actually install these different types of sensors and manufacturing systems. So it's pretty neat. Good question on that end. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go back, and again, that one took me a little bit longer just because it is it is a little bit of a different program here at Johnson College. So we'll go into Biomedical Equipment Technology. Again, 2-year associate degree program here at Johnson College. What is Biomedical Equipment Technology? Well, it is essentially the technicians, the biomedical equipment technicians are people that troubleshoot and repair medical machines. So think about it. If you are in the hospital, you have a loved one in the hospital, and you are hooked up to, just say a heart monitor machine, okay, or a blood pressure machine, and that breaks, well, someone has to fix that. Now, it's not like you're going to be the technician and come over bedside and fix that. That's not how that works. The nurse, the MD would get a new machine, but you, as the technician, would work on the machine in the repair shop at the hospital or medical center. So this program is very specific. It's a lot of, parts, a lot of regulations. We always say if you're a biomedical equipment technician, you're working on, you like being someone that solves puzzles and solves problems. So, everyone has a cell phone. If your cell phone breaks, it's not just, okay, well, we got it in a new one. It would be the person that would take it apart and figure out fundamentally why it broke from the start. So again, great field to be in. It's not something that is very well known. All hospitals, all medical facilities have biomedical equipment technicians or contract out to them. So right now, think about it, just your general hospitals, you have all of your specialist offices, a lot of the ready clinics that are, popping up in different places, dental offices, optometrists, all different places like that. So it's needed. So this is a really great field to get into if you want to go into the medical field, but you get a little squeamish around blood. It's more of a technical program in that regard. Okay, just bumping back. Again, computer information technology, another one of our 2-year associate degrees. This is your, particular IT person here at Johnson. Basically, it is, network systems, hard drives, all different things along those lines, security systems, laptops, all different things like that. So pretty neat program. You could do any type of job from being your prototypical IT person to working at a, for a car dealership because cars have computers in them now. And just kind of moving along. Electronic engineering technology, very similar to biomedical equipment technology. It's a lot of systems and sensors. So we always talk about is robotics. So if the ongoing thing that you hear people say is, oh, well, I can't work in manufacturing. I'll be replaced by a machine. That could be very true in some senses. Our students that work in electronic engineering technology are the people that repair and troubleshoot those machines. So if you have a robotic arm at a manufacturing facility that automates your supply chain and that breaks, the student in electronic engineering technology would be the one to repair all of that. So it's pretty neat in this regard. So again, you work on a lot of sensors, systems, troubleshooting, and again, very similar to biomedical equipment technology. That's focused on medical equipment. This is focused on different types of other systems and sensors along those lines. And again, if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to touch base on our last one in electronic and industrial. Then I'm going to let Jack take it away. So electronic and industrial, we do offer a welding program. So it's a 1-year certificate here at Johnson College. Obviously people ask, what is welding? It's metal work, essentially taking heat and binding 2 pieces of metal together. That's a very simple way of phrasing it, but metal is, on everything. Again, I go back to the chair I'm sitting on, the building I'm in, the heating units, cars, all different things. Metal needs to be fused together, and every structure, pieces of steel, that's where welders come in. So again, it's a 1-year certificate. It takes 9 months if you go full time. So it's only 2 semesters, which is pretty neat here at Johnson. A lot of, we keep talking about it, but there's a lot of jobs in all of these fields. Welding, you could go to school in 9 months and be out in a, pretty quick chunk of time, which is pretty neat here at Johnson. So again, we'll kind of keep going through our different divisions here. I'm going to let Jack take over and do the building, trades, and technology. So Jack, if you want to start with architectural drafting and design, and we'll check everything out.
Sure. So everyone, architectural drafting and design, it is what you would initially assume right once you hear it. So you do design buildings, homes, commercial properties, things like that, but as well as anything really that through CAD or Revit programs can be designed. So just by example, in this room that you're looking at, the programs that you'll be learning how to operate, you can design things from the tables to the computers, simple as a pen. But majority of the work they'd be doing would be buildings, landscape type work, as well as bridges and things like that too. So all different types of commercial and residential work. The first week you kind of go right into the traditional blueprints as far as hand drawing, things like that, how to read them. But then you will quickly transition to everything being on the computer. So it is a very technical job once you get into it, once you graduate and you're out in the field. So if you are somebody that's interested in computers and design and architecture, then it is a great fit for that type of student. And then building and property maintenance. So this program, it's a little bit of a combination of a lot of different things. So for this, it is a 1-year certificate. So just like the welding that you saw before, you complete this in 9 months. And you learn basic maintenance, repair, and you'll go through different classes through our HVAC program, our carpentry program, and electrical. So you'll see a little bit of each of those over the 9 months. And the goal really is that when you graduate, you'll just kind of be a well-rounded service tech for whether you work for a company that does maintenance on different buildings. If you worked, for example, like at Johnson College, We have maintenance technicians that go around and take care of all the different equipment and items on campus that, whether it be air conditioners, tools, vehicles, simple repairs, things like that.
And that's a great point, Jack, too. And again, with going through the 360 views, we didn't have a direct lab for that because the next 3 labs that we'll show you guys, those are essentially what the students in building and property maintenance do use. So, Jack, if you want to keep going with carpentry here, show a little view of the lab here.
Yeah. So this is probably my favorite lab. I just love the smell of the wood and stains and everything once you go in it. But it is a very neat space in itself. So in the carpentry and cabinet making, you do learn the basic carpentry skills. You may think right off the bat carpentry and construction. You wouldn't be wrong. Many of our students, they do go out in some form of construction work they may do. But as you see all the different types of equipment that we have, they go hand in hand with construction work and then as well as fine woodworking. So as students, while they're in this program, they learn all different types of machinery and how to operate. So from planers to joiners, table saws, all the different tools that you'll use and acquire over your 2 years and then throughout your career. They'll kind of go over all of that while with you here. So our students, they do all different types of things, usually in the section that you see there to the left of the door. They'll build small scale structures where they'll learn framing, windows, doors, subfloors, different roofing styles, and then they'll carry that outside. They'll build a small scale structure, everything from laying down the concrete blocks for foundation up to building a small scale home, maybe a couple hundred square feet. So they do all a bunch of different things like that. For the fine woodworking portion of it, they have an auction every year. And the goal for that is the students, freshmen and seniors, they'll build kitchen islands, hutches, tables, chairs, end tables, picture frames, cutting boards, all different types of things. And they'll auction that off for a different charity in our area. So I actually have an island in my kitchen that freshman students made for me last year. And they did from softwood up to a little bit of walnut, cherry, oak. So you learn all the different wood species as well as proper applications for those and how to treat the wood. So it is a pretty well-rounded program as far as covering all different aspects of woodworking, and it'll kind of take you whichever route you want to go. So electrical construction and maintenance, it's become probably our most popular program the past 2 years as far as students enrolling. So the lab space, it looks a little bit different now, but as an electrical construction student, your first year, you'll be able to wire a house from top to bottom. So they'll focus on residential wiring. And then your second year will get more into the higher voltages, motor control, a little bit more of the higher risk, but also higher reward type of electrical work. So the program director, his number one thing, and he'll always talk to you about it, whether you're on campus or you talk to him over the phone, whatever, is safety. So he goes all the different aspects of how to be safe in the workforce and out in the field, how to be safe in the lab, and just to make sure that one, you're learning at an efficient pace, and two, you know all the safety protocols for all this different work. Electrical, probably in next to welding, are two of the more dangerous trades, so it is important, but because of a little bit more of risk, especially when you get into like motor controls, things like that, it is a little bit of a higher paying trade as well. So the students in this lab, you'll see those whiteboards in the background there. Those are the motor controls, and they're very interactive with you. And then you also will do in electrical, carpentry, and then when I get to HVAC, you'll learn a little bit of everything, and I'll touch base with that at HVAC. So this is our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning lab. So naturally, when people walk in here, the first thing that they see is that big structure right in the middle. It kind of jumps right out at you. So the carpentry department years ago when this lab started, this program started 2010, I think was the first class that they had on campus. So it's a 10-year-old program, but in here, the students in that structure alone, they'll learn how to do furnaces, boilers, ductless air conditioning, radiant flooring. They also learn how pipe fitting, whether it be copper, PVC, or the newer different styles that they use in newer construction homes too. So it's important that the students learn what is still in many of the homes that are in our area, especially today with copper piping, older technology, things like that. And then as well as get versed in all the up and coming technologies. So they have tons of equipment. This picture doesn't really do it justice with how much equipment is inside this lab now. Everything from commercial freezers, beer coolers, things that you'd see if you go into a restaurant or bar, as well as just simple refrigerators, air conditioning units for both commercial and residential uses. Um, Students get to troubleshoot, work on them, whether it be wiring or motor control issues. The students get to work on all of that. So the equipment that comes in, it's either donated or purchased from us. So they're always working on something different. And with HVAC too, is when you're out in the field, you're going to be outside in the heat, the cold, the snow, the rain. So we do have a lot of our equipment is outside too. So you do get acclimated quick to any PA weather for working in the HVAC field because you are inside, outside, all over. But I want to touch base quick for HVAC, electrical, and carpentry. Those fall under the building trades technology program. So as a student in any one of those three, the carpentry, electrical, or HVAC, you do a little bit of each through 5-week increments. So as a carpentry student, you'll have a little bit of electrical knowledge as well as a little bit of HVAC knowledge by the time that you graduate. And the goal is to make, and then the same for electrical, HVAC, vice versa. The goal is to make a more rounded, well-rounded individual in either one of those fields. So if you're an HVAC tech and you're going into a house and you need to do a little bit of wiring or a little bit of carpentry work, you're able to. Or you at least know what you're looking at if you have to get somebody else in there to do it. So it just makes you more well-rounded, more aware, and more knowledgeable, which ultimately makes you more valuable as far as earning potential-wise. So it is a nice thing. And if you were in any of those programs, and while you're taking the classes in the other ones, you're able to transfer, switch programs very easily because all the classes are the same. So say you started in carpentry and you fell in love with HVAC, you're able to switch. It makes it pretty interchangeable within that time frame. Makes it interchangeable and allows you to end up doing what you want to do without taking much more time out.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. All right, so I'll kind of go through our transportation and logistics division. So these ones very similar. I'm going to start with logistics. The biggest thing I could say with that is if you guys have ever ordered something on Amazon, click Amazon Prime and it comes in the click of a button and it arrives on your doorstep in 2 days. You might not realize it, but there's someone involved in logistics in that. Basically that's, you pressing that button on the computer eventually gets an order over to someone, and they have to make sure that that product is taken off of the, taken from the warehouse, packaged appropriately, and sent out. So that's a supply chain management and logistics and supply chain management. So essentially, what you would be doing with that is looking on, figuring out if there is a bottleneck in the supply chain. So say I ordered something, the Christmas holidays are coming around, and I ordered something from a department store and it's not getting here. Well, my job would be as a logistics, technician, would be to figure out how we're going to get this quicker and improve shipping times and ordering times. And it's not just going to be, me saying, work a little harder to the team. No, it's going to be, let's figure out how, what we can do to make things more efficient. So it's a lot of top quality management, different classes as far as warehousing. You learn some basic, some basic knowledge, a little bit more on business. I'll just kind of show you guys the course outline here. Warehousing and distribution, inventory control. There's international logistics, project management, big economics, and things along those lines. So again, make it a little bit more well-rounded in this logistics program. So very business-based. This program is exclusively online with everything going on right now due to the pandemic. So it is online. Um, so, really great program at Johnson. It's one of those where there's a little bit more theory behind it than some of our other programs. Get into the transportation side of things. This is automotive technology, diesel preventative maintenance, diesel truck technology, and heavy equipment. So I'll kind of just give a little bit of an overview on all these. Automotive technology is essentially being a technician to repair a gas engine. So what I mean by that, if you're driving your car and your car breaks down, your automotive technician would be the one to repair your car. Okay, and like with all of our other programs at Johnson, you do not have to have pre-existing experience in these fields. You could just jump right into, your curriculum at Johnson College, and you start completely from the ground up. So automotive technology, again, it's all different things, gas engines. So you work on cars. You can see from our lab here, we have a motorcycle here as well. Now it's not strictly motorcycles, but there is a little bit of work on that. So with automotive technology, you do a little bit of everything. It's steering and suspension systems. It's vehicle maintenance and repair. And again, there's a lot of technology in cars. If you can see where my cursor is here, think about it. There's power window systems in cars. There's computers. So the way a vehicle looks now, as opposed to how it does 20 years ago, is completely different. Even how it is now compared to 5 years ago. So we have students work on everything from older vehicles. We have newer vehicles that we have. Students, if they want to work on their own vehicles, we do allow that in certain instances as well. So you are able to get that experience. We do have some setups. As you can see, this pretty much just the engine of this Chevy in front of us. So the students learn everything from basic stuff, oil changes, headlights, taillights, and then get into rebuilding transmissions and things of the like, which is pretty neat. Going through these next three, I'm just kind of going to blend into one. Diesel truck technology, very similar to automotive technology, as is our heavy equipment technology program. So essentially the difference is diesel truck technology has the same first year as automotive technology. It is you're taking basically vehicle maintenance and repair classes here at Johnson, and then you get into, your diesel programs as well. So diesel truck technology, it's larger engines, larger tires, larger components. You do everything from, again, the maintenance, repair, steering, suspension systems, engine rebuilds, diesel engine overhaul. And just because it's diesel truck, it does not mean that it's just trucks. In this program, you do everything from, anything that a diesel engine has, you could work on after you graduate, you'd be qualified. So things that have diesel engines, planes, trains, automobiles, all have diesel engines. So students are able to work on those. Heavy diesel preventative maintenance is a 1-year certificate that we offer, another 9-month certificate. You basically would just be a maintenance technician for diesel, so you would not get into as much of the steering as much of the engine rebuild. This would be more kind of like your parts changer, your technician, a lot of preventative maintenance, things along those lines. Heavy equipment technology, that's one of our newest programs at Johnson, and you can see the lab. It's actually the same as the diesel lab. The difference is heavy equipment during your second year, you start working on some of what we call earth moving machines. So what I mean by that is think of a giant tractor, a backhoe, things along those lines. That's what students at heavy equipment technology specialize in, which is pretty neat. So again, all these programs that we're talking about, they're needed. You could start completely from the ground up, and there are jobs to be had. Think of trucks and heavy equipment. When you laugh about it, but you couldn't buy hand soap a couple months ago, that was because there was, a shortage of it. And then when the supply was there weren't enough truck drivers to keep up with the demand. And every truck that's on the road needs to be repaired, maintained. That's where this comes in. And then our last programs we'll kind of touch base on. We do veterinary technology, which is on our health science side of things. Veterinary technology is essentially a nurse for animals. To be an actual veterinarian, it's, anywhere from your 7, 8 years of school. Vet tech is essentially a nurse for animals. So you're actually looking at what we have as our live clinic at Johnson College. So essentially students that come to Johnson for this get to work in this live clinic. So we have 3 certified vet techs that are instructors, and we actually have a veterinarian, and she performs surgeries, procedures on animals. So mainly dogs and cats. But people in the community could schedule appointments, bring their animals here, think smaller procedures, spades, neuters, nail trimming, stuff like that. And we actually do have a full kennel for students as well. So vet tech is very science heavy for our students. You know, a lot of chemistry, animal anatomy, animal physiology, things along those lines. And then our last two, physical therapist assistant and radiologic technology. Radiologic technology is an x-ray technician. So, you know, if I break my arm, like I was saying, and I need to go and get an x-ray, well, what you do during that x-ray, you know, someone has to take a picture of it. And it's not just pressing buttons. It's, you know, learning the proper anatomy and physiology for humans, positioning, placement, things along those lines. And again, 2-year associate degree at Johnson, one of our more popular programs here, specifically at Johnson College. And then briefly, we'll touch base on our physical therapist assistant program. I talked about vet tech kind of being a nurse for animals. Think of a physical therapist as essentially a nurse as well in that capacity. What the physical therapist assistant does is it's, again, another one of our 2-year degrees here at Johnson. And they, you know, so if I break my arm and have to go for physical therapy, the physical therapist would be the one that would help me in terms of, you know, getting my rehabilitation plan, you know, in place. But the person that would be working with me would be the physical therapist assistant. So I use the example of, you know, you ever visited a loved one in the hospital, probably only see the doctor once or twice, but there's always a nurse that's coming in and out. Think of your physical therapist assistant as kind of your nurse. They're the ones working with the patients and making sure they're carrying through that proper rehabilitation. So again, if there's any questions in the chat, feel free to jump in with them. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop our screen share and we'll go back to our PowerPoint here. And we'll get everything rolling. Okay. Sorry about that. The screen share on the Zoom here is a little tricky when you're doing screen share. Okay. Let's get my slideshow here. I don't know why that's not coming up with the actual slide. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. So this is just a look at our campus map here at Johnson. Again, we're very small, 44-acre campus. Every lab is super specific to the you know, the area that you're in at Johnson, which is pretty neat. And then in terms of you know, overall with the campus, again, very tight knit. Your labs are you know, very close to each other, and it's not like you're gonna have to take a bus to get from one side of the campus to the other, which we always laugh about because I know a lot of other schools have those issues. I'm just gonna briefly show a quick campus tour, just so you can get kind of a feel on things. Sorry about that. So again, that was just a brief look at our campus here at Johnson. We're just kind of wrapping up here. I just want to go through the admission process and requirements here. If you are interested at Johnson, you just go on our website, applyjohnson.edu/apply. There usually is a $25 application fee, but due to COVID, that is waived. We would just need you to submit your high school transcripts. There are some other program requirements if you're interested in the Veterinary Technology, the Physical Therapist Assistant Technology program, or the Radiologic Technology program. But it does require some essay questions, observation hours, etc. But the rest of the programs, you would just need your high school transcripts. We can evaluate them. We do encourage SAT or ACT scores. If you took them, we could take a look at that. Complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Visiting campus, we are open for visits. We're doing them, safe and socially distanced. But we do have shadows. You can actually sit in on a live class. There is, one-on-one tours as well. So there are a lot of different options. I always say when students accepted, get involved. We're a small campus. We have under 500 students. So we want to make sure that you're here and are able to, get to know people on a first name basis, which is pretty cool. And we always say, get ready to be essential. That's what the type of careers we have at Johnson. And again, we do a lot of typical student support services, financial aid, academic advising, keep you on track, counseling and disability services, our resource center, which is where you get student tutoring, career services. We will help you with employment. You can see we have an 86% in-field placement rate. So students do get, help finding jobs. They have an internship built into the curriculum. So we will help you with that. So just because we are a small technical college, it doesn't mean that we have any, don't have any of the services that, some of the other four-year schools have. So again, if you have an IEP, a 504, we're happy to help make a plan for that. Career services, we help with the employment, like I said. Student engagement, there is opportunities. And then if you were ever looking to transfer, we do have agreements with several schools, so our programs can actually transfer over to those. And then lastly, I'll just touch base on our tuition. For the year, $17,700. Our median total debt after graduation ranges from anywhere from $5,500 to $13,125, which I could tell you myself, I have a four-year degree and my student debt was not like that. So our students are able to get in, get out fairly quickly, and again, find high-paying jobs, which is the best part of all this. There's an immediate return on investment. If you ever want to go to the college scorecard website, there's also a Georgetown study, and it shows the value of two-year technical colleges. And again, if there's anything that we can help with, feel free to reach out. We do actually have an in-person open house that's coming up on Saturday the 7th. So 2 days from now, it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you are interested, you could register just at johnson.edu/open house. And again, our contact information is here. So if there's anything you need, feel free to reach out, and turn it back over to Liz.
Thanks so much, Alex and Jack. We appreciate you taking the time to present to students tonight about Johnson College. For those of you joining us live, there will be a brief survey at the end of this evening's session. Also, if you'd like to visit recordings of all of our sessions through our five-week program, you can do so at www.pacac.org/virtual. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.